Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Steins, the visual novel. We're back here again after talking to that stupid antisocial alpaca. And I just want to let everyone know this is a re-recording because everything actually went fine with the recording, but the audio just sounded terrible. I'm not sure why. Like, I listened to it, it sounded too airy. I'm not sure what was wrong with it, but it sounded really bad. So I scrapped it, and I'm just going to redo this. And just so everyone knows, there's a clip I'm going to add towards the end that I found out, because apparently the phone can do some pretty crazy things. Let me figure out. There it is. The phone can do some pretty crazy things. So first of all, you can change its wallpaper, which I've done already. You can set which ringtone and which male ringtone you want. You can connect to network, which actually, I don't want to spoil it right now, but I'll let you know what it is at the end of the episode. It takes me out of the game, but I'll show you what it is. We have our address book, which apparently we can't call things unless it's story time that'll let us, and we can see our messages, including this really weird one full of text. But I found I can actually advance the text using the enter key, rather than keeping my cursor on the screen, so I'm going to do my best to keep that off. That all being said, let's begin. I curse his name and smack the TV. As soon as I do, the TV makes a sound like it's shorted, and then the screen goes blank. I change the channel. Nothing. Check the power cable. Nothing. Whack it again. Nothing. I guess it's broken. This crummy TV is on lease from the Braun Tube workshop downstairs. It's probably just old. It's not my fault. The alpaca was being stupid and ugly. I turn off the TV and lie down on the couch. I'm fed up with the humidity of Japanese summers. I stare at a conspicuous stain on the ceiling while fanning myself. I close my eyes. And what naturally comes to mind is that impossible scene I saw an hour ago. It does seem kind of odd that you could almost go back to, like an hour later, you could go back to normal life after seeing a dead person lying on the ground in a pool of blood. Like, to people that aren't conditioned to that, that's got to be terribly upsetting, and I don't see how you could just continue with your life as if nothing happened. They're gone. As I left Radio Kaikan, everyone vanished before my eyes. I can't explain it. And it wasn't just the people on the streets. The people in the stores, gone. In the restaurants, gone. Even the cars vanished, drivers and all. And it all happened in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, an empty city spread before me. I could still hear the music from the stores, but those catchy melodies were the only sounds of life remaining. Heat was rising from the asphalt in waves, but I felt only a cold chill down my spine. I just stood there, breathless until... Oh! Mayuri's voice brought me back to reality. Mayuri hadn't disappeared. She was right there, looking at me with questioning eyes. Panic took hold as the enormity of what just happened struck me. Unable to control myself, I grabbed Mayuri by her slender shoulders and shook her. Mayuri's head flopped back and forth from my shaking. I stopped shaking her and looked straight into her eyes. She returned my gaze with eyes clear as glass marbles. Her reply didn't make any sense.
とにかくね、最初からこの辺には誰もいなかったよ。あ、そっか。オカリンは幻を見てたんだね。 きっとこの暑さのせいだよ。
How could she laugh at a time like this? I always thought she was a bit strange, but maybe her brain is actually broken. I realized that she couldn't help me. With nowhere else to turn, I look up at the bright blue sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight. The scorching summer sun shone bright through the gaps between Akaba's buildings. Naturally, my eyes drifted to the top floor of Radio Kaikan, where I had been just a moment before. And it does seem strange that there's a satellite that crashed in the building, doesn't it? Like, did that just happen when we got out here? There it was, an enormous machine, like some kind of satellite, embedded in the roof of the building where, not 5 minutes before, I'd found Makase Kurisu's body in a pool of blood. What happened to her? Just before everyone disappeared, I could have sworn I heard an ambulance siren. Makase Kurisu might be in the dark, in that dark narrow passageway, cold, bloody, and alone. The thought disturbed me, but the question at the forefront of my mind was...
そもそもあの人工衛星は一体何だ?
Right before Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, the building shook like a bomb had exploded. The roof door lock had been broken, and beyond it, someone had placed a satellite-like machine, shrouded in smoke and glowing dust. When I first saw it, the satellite was on the rooftop. But that's not what I was seeing now. This satellite had penetrated the top floor of the building, obliterating the room where Dr. Nakabachi's press conference had been held. It must have fallen out of orbit without burning up in the atmosphere, somehow. That seems highly unlikely, but what other explanation could there be? The real question was, when did that happen?
Mayuri, あの人工衛星だが。
びっくりしたね。
びっくりしただと。何がびっくりしたのだ？
ドカーンってすっごい音がしたもん。
A huge kaplow? It certainly did make a sound. But I don't think it was kaplow. I'd say it was more like...
あの人工衛星は落ちてきたのか？
来たのかな？宇宙人さん乗ってるのかな？
I doubt it, but... Had I lost my mind? What I had seen didn't match at all with what Mayuri was saying. Suddenly, nothing seemed real. Had I dreamt it all?
そこの君たち!
Just then, a uniformed policeman ran up to us, his expression stern.
ここで何をやっているんだ? ここらは今立ち入り禁止だ. すぐに出て行きなさい.
ごめんなさい。
それより制服警官さん、仮にあなたを警官 A と名付けるが、一つ聞きたいことがあるんです。
警官 A って
今ここで数千人の通行人が一瞬で消えたんです。あなたも見ましたよね？
見ていない。いいから早く出て行け。
I was quickly losing confidence in my own memories. I decided to tell him about Makase Kurisu and get him to call an ambulance, but before I could...
さっきから何をバカなことばかり言っているんだ?
The policeman took me by the upper arm and said, "No one got stabbed at Radio Kaikan." What? How could he say that with such certainty? While I was still trying to comprehend the situation, the policeman forcefully led us away. We were escorted to the UPX and released. There were people at UPX, like usual. Actually, there were far more people than usual. The place was packed. Just as Officer A had said, Chuodori had been blockaded by police, so no one could enter. Which is kind of strange considering that there were people there just a minute ago. There was nothing we could do, so we headed back to the lab. And that brings us to the present. I'm baffled. Did the whole hour since the beginning of Dr. Nakabachi's presentation really happen? I check online for any news. The net is buzzing about the mysterious machine that crashed into Radio Kaikan. All of the major stations in Tokyo, even TOTV, are running special bulletins about it. Fortunately, it doesn't look like anyone was hurt, but Chuodori is still closed off. Akihabara Station is jammed with reporters and curious onlookers. Nobody has mentioned anything about the disappearance of thousands of people from Akiba streets, nor about Makase Kurisu's murder. It's all a mystery. A mystery?
そうか。そういうことか。
It must be the organization! From the sofa, I spring to my feet, a wide grin on my face. Daru and Mayuri turn and stare.
これもすべて機関の隠蔽工作ということだな。警察にすら圧力をかけられるということは、この国の中枢ももはや奴らの手の内にあるということ。なんということだ。だが俺の目はごまかせんぞ。いつか必ず奴らの所業を暴き、その支配構造に終止符を打ってやる。
Having come to a satisfactory conclusion, I take a celebratory bottle of Dr. P, my favorite soda, from the fridge. The lab has no air conditioning. Ice-cold drinks are essential.
頭脳労働の後のドクターペッパーは相変わらず最高にうまいな。
コーラの方がよくね？
オカリンは本当にドクターペッパーさんが大好きだよね。
Which is funny because, obviously it says Dr. P here. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock for the past, forever, you know that Dr. P is likely a reference to Dr. Pepper. But I guess for copyright reasons they didn't include that. But you notice in her dialogue she says Dr. Pepper, which is interesting because in the, I believe even in the anime, the Japanese anime, they actually list the bottle as Dr. Pepper. Which is interesting. If I remember correctly, it might not be, but I think it is.
この知的飲料の良さがわからないやつは人生の5分の1を損しているぞ。
I gotta love that laugh. Seriously, the best laugh ever. Step through the curtain dividing its center, and you'll enter the heart of the Future Gadget Laboratory, the development room. Just as the name implies, this is the room where we develop future gadgets. Needless to say, it's strictly off-limits to outsiders. Yes, I know the setup is cheap. I would much rather have an airlock than a curtain, but our research budget is already scraping the bottom of the barrel. Besides, what's important isn't money, it's ambition. I poke Daru and bid him follow me into the development room. All of the windows here are weather stripped with packing tape, so it's dim and hot, almost like a sauna. I've been wanting to buy an air conditioner for the lab, but there's no money for that. We're currently accepting donations. Upon entering the development room, I pick up the lab coat that's lazily draped on the chair and put it on. I always wear a lab coat in the development room, for practical reasons as well as symbolic ones. Daru, however, refuses to wear his. Putting it on and taking it off is apparently too much trouble for him. He can't be bothered to do anything that doesn't interest him. It's men like him that give our generation a bad name. His lab coat, purchased from my own pocket money, might I add, just sits on the shelf. It's never been worn and probably never will be.
ダル、計画は順調に推移しているか？
え、計画って何ぞ？
Daru gives me a blank look. I sigh and turn his attention to the table in the middle of the room. Sitting majestically on top of the table is a commercial-grade microwave oven. It's significantly larger than the newer home models.
計画は計画だ。8号機の調整以外に何があるというのか？
ああ、そのこと。いきなり計画とか言うから何事かと思った。
そろそろお前との付き合いも3年半ほどになる。
We went to high school together, and now we're going to the same university. We share an inseparable bond, like prison cellmates. Which is an interesting way to compare it. He's only been a lab member for 2 months, though.
高2の時はクラス別でほとんど喋んなかったじゃん。だから実質2年半じゃね？
細かいことはどうでもいい。それほどの付き合いの長さなのだから、いい加減俺の会話についてこられるようになってくれ。
それは無理。
Nope. Awkward silence. Man, all I ever wanted to do was have one of those cool cryptic conversations where we talk about plans and preparations and other important sounding stuff, but no one knows what it means except us. Shot down again.
それで8号機の不調の原因究明は進んだか？
いや、まだ。
So far, the Future Gadget Laboratory has completed a total of 8 inventions. As explained to Alpaca-Man, the lab's primary goal is to develop weapons for the war against the Dark Domination, led by the organization that rules the world from the shadows. At present, we haven't completed any inventions of that sort. On the contrary, we haven't even figured out what we should make. But along the way, we have managed to create some ingenious future-ish gadgets as a byproduct of our research. It is a fundamental truth of science that great inventions are often created by accident. In other words, serendipity. Allow me to introduce our glorious future gadgets. Gadget number 1, the Bit Particle Gun. Gadget number 2, the Bamboo Helicam. Gadget number 3, could this be Aura Aura? Gadget number 4, Mowed Snake. Gadget number 5, once again, I've made a worthless object by Gomon. Gadget number 6, the Saloom Saber. Gadget number 7, Ghost in the Ball. They can all be seen on the website Daru made, so feast your eyes upon the product of a mad scientist genius, which, if you remember, hold on. Right here, if I were to click Connect to Network, we would get this exact website, more or less, in front of us. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to include that in a separate little clip, so be prepared for that if you want to take a look. Anyway, our current problem is Future Gadget number 8, the Phone Wave name subject to change. Phone Wave is a pretty weak name, so I've added name subject to change to the end until we come up with something better. For the record, it was Mayuri's idea, not mine. When a future gadget is completed, the three of us discuss what to name it. I prefer names based on mythology, or names with hidden meanings that need extra explanation to understand. Daru thinks my naming style is too ridiculous. He just doesn't have a passion for words like I do. Mayuri can't be bothered to remember difficult names. She said they don't fit in her head. Wait, did I skip a line? No, we didn't. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I thought I did. And so, our opinions on gadget names are always split. But I digress. The Phone Wave, name subject to change, is, in short, a remote-controlled microwave. You can put food in the microwave before you leave, then on your way back, call the attached cell phone to start the heating process. Voila! Hot food ready for your arrival. So, basically it's a piece of junk. A few days ago, however, we discovered that the Phone Wave, name subject to change, has a second unintended capability. Our brave, or possibly just ditzy, Mayuri had made it her daily routine to heat some frozen fried chicken by remote control. Long story short, she was defrosting her beloved juicy chicken number 1, as usual, when the unexpected happened. The chicken came out more frozen than when she put it in. The microwave refroze the chicken. Since then, Daru and I have been searching for the cause.
マユ氏がやった状況を再現して何度も実験したけど、冷凍できたりできなかったりだし、バナナを冷凍してみようとしたら、さらにへんてこなことになったし、さっぱりわかんねえ。
Daru, now looking completely fed up with the heat, starts fanning himself with his shirt. I know what he means by really weird. Let's see if we can't make it happen again.
マユリここにバナナを持て
Bring forth the bananas!
またゲルバナ作るの？
Gel bananas again.
前から気になってたけどさ、マユ氏。ゲルバナって略さないでくんない？
だってね、ゲルバナはゲルバナだもん。
Gel bananas. I take the bananas from Mayuri and stick the whole bunch into the Phone Wave, name subject to change.
なんでいつも一房丸ごと入れるの？もったいないよ。
ケチケチしていては 機関との戦いに勝利することなどできんぞ。
勝たなくてもいいよ。あのね、バナナはマユシーが買ってきてるんだからね。おかげでマユシーはちっともバナナが食べられません。
次からは1本ずつ使うことも検討しておこう。
But I already put the whole bunch in, so I ignore her hungry complaints. The phone wave, named subject to change, is simple to use. It's a microwave with a phone taped on. The number is already in my address book. I just need to call the phone wave. Now, where did I put my phone? I checked my pants and coat pocket. Oh, there it is. So if you fail this a few times, which I did last time, it tells you to press the P button, or what I kept doing was, it said if you put your cursor to the right side of the screen, your phone will pop up, which is why it kept popping up before by accident. So we need to call the phone wave, and it only let you call people at times in the story when it lets you call people, like right now. I'm connected.
RENG こちらは電話レンジかっこ仮です。
This is the voice of Mayushi Guidance, the system Daru programmed in to operate the phone wave.
マユシーの声聞こえてきた？
少し黙れ。マユシーガイダンスが聞こえなくなる。
こちらからタイマー操作ができます。シャープボタンを押した後、温めたい秒数をプッシュしてください。例えば1分ならシャープ60、2分ならシャープ120です。
Oh. Entering the command properly will cause the phone wave, named subject to change, to function like a normal microwave. Instead, we're going to deliberately mess up and enter 120 pound. Which is what we need to do, and if you enter it wrong, he's like, crap, I messed up, let me try again. That should do it. This method was originally a simple mistake on Mayuri's part, but it somehow starts the freezing process. The phone wave, named subject to change, comes to life. The turntable begins to rotate.
綺麗なターンテーブルだろう。普段と違って逆回転してるんだぜそれ。
何？逆回転？
I never noticed that.
そこに重大な意味があるかもしれない。漁師の振る舞いにも影響してくる問題であり、奮闘の規則を導入して。
あるわ。ねえよ。
Nope.
ないか。
ないね。
そうか。
The three of us wait and stare at the spinning bananas. After 120 seconds pass, the microwave chimes. Mayuri takes the bananas out.
ゲルバナの出来上がり。
Now that's a little weird, isn't it? The bananas have become not bananas. The gelatinous blobs coated with a thin membrane. After Mayuri discovered that the phone wave, named subject to change, had a freezing function, we attempted to freeze a bunch of bananas. This is what happened. It just gets more confusing each time. Now why would it do that, I wonder?
このバナナ食べてみようとは思わないか思うはずだ。我らの理念達成の犠牲となり散ったダルに敬礼。
すげえまずそうじゃん。
味は関係ない。食べることに意味があるのだ。さあダルよ、遠慮することはない。骨は拾ってやるから思い切ってズズイと行くがいい。
Remember, Daru, you will be remembered long after you die.
いらね。
ではマユリ、お前にその名誉を譲ろう。
なんかね、ゲルバナは中身がデロデロでブニュブニュだったよ。
Wait, she already tried one?
味もしないし、全然美味しくなかった。
デロデロでブニュブニュか。ダルよ、どう思う？
ブニュブニュバナナか。ブニュブニュのバナナ。マユシ、あなたのバナナブニュブニュだねって言ってみて。
ダル くん、ダルくん。
Your nose is
鼻血出て
bleeding.
る。
いいから言ってみてください。お願いします。
あなたのバナナ、ブニュブ。
言わせるな、手の額
Daru retreats after I hit him with a tissue box. Mayuri looks at us with an innocent smile. She doesn't get it, obviously. Anyway.
ゲル状になったということは反固形。すなわち、分子同士の結びつきが弱くなっている可能性がある。
What could have partially liquefied the bananas?
そうか。わかったぞ
I turn to the whiteboard and write freezing in the middle. Then I cross it out and slap the board with my hand.
俺たちは冷凍機能だと思い込んでいたが、実は違ったのだよ
A bold statement, if I do say so myself. So, why isn't anybody surprised?
さあ、お前たち。なんだってと叫ぶがいいここは叫ぶところだ
Their reactions are pathetically weak. Mayuri probably didn't understand half of what I said.
冷凍機能じゃないのは分かってるっつーの。
Oh.
問題は、じゃあこの機能って何ぞ？何が起きてんの？ってことじゃん。
So we've come to the general consensus that no one knows what the heck's going on. Good.
冷凍の逆なら解凍じゃないのかな。
実に愚鈍な意見だな、マユリ。それでは普通の電子レンジと同じではないか。
That's a normal microwave, you silly person.
じゃあどういうこと？
それが分かんないから悩んでるんだお。
He's right. To be honest, I haven't a clue. In any case, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's time for Daru and I to head to Daiburu. There's going to be a seminar at ATF, and we have to be there. It's part of our studies at Tokyo Denki University, and this is where we're going to stop off for today, because this is where I stopped off last time. I'm going to quickly head through the tips. Now keep in mind I've already seen all of these, so none of them are green. So let's look for the new ones. There's ATF for you. Just a meeting hall. We have the Bamboo Helicam Future Gadget number 2. The Bit Particle Gun. Let's see, what else is new? Could this be Aura Aura? And a lot of these gadgets are named after, they have fake names, but you can tell Juju's Bizarre Adventure is likely JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And so they're named after a lot of things. Like this one, it's called inspired by Spark Wars, which you can tell it's likely Star Wars, and this is likely a lightsaber. Let's see what else. Daiburu. I'm looking for new things that we haven't read yet. Keep in mind, I've seen all of these. Ghost. Keep in mind also that these words are right behind my mic, so I keep having to look behind them. Ghost in the Ball, which I believe is supposed to be Ghost in the Shell. Hun's Rule. Now, I found this interesting. I didn't know about this. I'm not sure if this is true or not, or what it is. Let's keep looking. Oh, here's the microwave oven. It's talking about a regular microwave oven, not the fancy one that they have. The Mode Snake. An instant super humidifier. Once again, it's gadget number 5. Serendipity, the ability to discover something valuable when looking for something else. The microwave oven is born through serendipity, and a lot of science is actually born through serendipity. You try to find something, you end up stumbling across something else, and so it happens a lot in science. TOTV, I believe it's a play off of Tokyo TV, which I believe is an actual station in Japan. And I believe the way they're describing it is very similar to Tokyo TV, though I've never watched it myself. UPX, it's just an office building. Let's see, I think that might be it. Yeah, okay, so that's it. And then I'm gonna insert one small little clip that happens. Let's see. if you press the P button and you decide to go to Connect Network, it actually closes the game, oddly enough, and it opens up a web page. And I'm going to show you guys the little short clip I took from it. You can check it out yourself if you want. I believe the web address is valid, like if you just enter it in your web address bar. But we will be right back when we get to that. Okay, so this is the web page that comes up if you click the Connect to Network button, and you might recognize this from the episode. This is the Future Gadget Lab US site. It's a little bit different from the one in the episode because keep in mind this is the US version, not the Japanese version, and it leads to a page that looks just like it. I mean, in a lot of ways. And it's kind of weird, like to see in an anime, or, you know, in this case in a visual novel, to see a website and have it exist in real life. That's kind of cool. And you can go to this, it's futuregadget-lab.us. I believe you can just pull it up in an empty browser window. Let me check, so I'm actually sure here. Yeah, you can just pull it up in an empty browser window, and if you're scared of recruiting for products being sold out, make a buying now. It's a very rough translation, mind you, but it's still really cool to read if you want to take a look by yourself. And I like this. This page of English is made of efforts to expansion into West as a making into perfect English by glorious super hacker with a helping of machine translation software. And I mean, I don't really know what to make of this website. It's a lot of like weirdness. Like this is the top page, I'm fairly certain. About Lab. There's a lot of weird like links. Like what? And then look how it spells back. Like it almost seems like it's done on purpose, but I can't tell if it's done on purpose or not. There's a BBS here. And I think this isn't actually like stuff that's been. I don't think this is actual stuff. I think this is stuff that's just been set up for us as US readers for the game. But it's still it's really weird. But take a look at it if you want to just take a look through it yourself. It seems fairly limited, but it's still kind of neat as it is. And we're going to end the episode here. I've had to re-record this for a second time, so I hope everyone enjoyed. And tune in next time for more Steins Gate. Bye!